Hey guys, Young Justice is coming back. It's been reported that voice work is now underway for the much awaited season 3, and I'm here to give you a crash course on some of my favorite heroes from the show. Just as a side note, in case there are people watching who don't know Young Justice, the name of the team in the show is The Team. Yeah, it could be confusing if you didn't know that. So if you hear me say The Team, I'm referring to the group of heroes in the show. Now, dust off your costume and get ready, because here are my top 10 heroes from Young Justice. Number 10. Superboy. Connor Kent is the clone of Clark Kent and Lex Luthor, designed to replace Superman after the hero's apparent death, granting him some of Superman's powers including super strength, invulnerability, and infrared vision. But he can't fly. Sorry. Created by Project Cadmus, Superboy was aged to the age of a teenager, including implanting knowledge of the world, and was experimented on for 16 weeks. After he was freed by the Newsboy Legion, he went on to become a founding member of the team. Now, I'm not personally a huge fan of Superboy, mostly because he's super cocky and angry, but I suppose I wouldn't be particularly charming either if I suddenly came into being as a teenager and was brainwashed and experimented on for weeks. Plus, he seems to be mellowing out a bit now, so hopefully the next season sees a less angry Superboy. Number 9. Static. Virgil Hawkins is a teen from Dakota City, one of the city's bang babies whose genes were altered by a mutagenic gas that swept through the city. He was abducted by the Light and experimented on by the Reach in hopes of triggering his meta gene. Before they managed to complete the process, the team infiltrated the Reach base and liberated Static, later learning that he had gained the ability to magnetize objects as well as discharge electricity from his body. Using his powers, he decided to join up with the team to fight as a force for good. Static is a great character with a really cool history and awesome powers, and although he wasn't in too many episodes, he's one of my favorite members of the team. Number 8. Rocket. Rocket is the partner and protege of Icon, acting kinda like a sidekick, but not really. After Icon joined the Justice League, Rocket went on to join the team. Although she may look like a young female version of Gambit, Rocket doesn't have the same powers. She actually doesn't have any true superpowers of her own, depending on her inertia belt, which allows her to manipulate kinetic energy, which can grant her great strength and lets her create a force field that she can control. She's also extremely agile from her gymnastics training, and her time as Icon's sidekick gave her excellent hand-to-hand combat skills. When combined with her inertia belt, she becomes quite the force. Number 7. Artemis. Sorry Tigress fans, I like Artemis better. Artemis was Green Arrow's protege, highly skilled in the bow and arrow and the use of various trick arrows. Although she is a natural athlete, her intense training has turned her into an excellent crime fighter, whose versatile arrows and trick shots allow her to complete a wide array of feats. Using her custom-made compound bow as well as her various trick arrows, she's another member of the team who makes up for her lack of true powers with training and discipline. She later returns as Tigress, the crossbow-wielding sharpshooter, and while some may prefer Tigress, I like Artemis. I find her more personable, and honestly I just think a bow is cooler than a crossbow. Sue me. Number 6. Guardian. Malcolm Duncan, former classmate of Superboy and Miss Martian, started out acting as mission control for the team. However, he took on the mantle of Guardian when the team was under attack by the evil Despero. In an incredibly brave act, Duncan put on Jim Harper's old Guardian suit that had been broken from its display case by Despero and challenged the villain, pretending to be Earth's champion. Although this was his first real heroic action, he frickin' nailed it, able to use his great agility to avoid Despero while the team hatched a plan. Now, after this, Malcolm took on the Guardian role for good. The way he was introduced to the mantle of the Guardian was just so cool that he immediately became one of my favorite characters, and his stoic personality makes him even cooler. Number 5. Robin. As if I'd leave out Robin. Tim Drake, the third Robin after Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, joined the team after Dick Grayson took on the mantle of Nightwing. Drake looks up to Grayson a lot, both in his personal life and his heroic life. While he doesn't have quite the confidence of Dick, Tim Drake's Robin is still a strong character who takes on a leadership role often with Nightwing's encouragement. Tim is a highly skilled fighter using a collapsible and electrified bow staff. Combined with a number of gadgets like birdarangs and stealth technology, Robin is a versatile fighter who brings a lot to the table despite his lack of true superpowers. Number 4. Miss Martian. Miss Martian is the niece and former protege of the famed Martian Manhunter. She is by far the oldest member of the team, joining at age 48, but because of her Martian ancestry, she was roughly the equivalent of a 16-year-old human, so she fit in fairly well despite her unfamiliarity with Earth's customs. Her Martian physiology gives her a number of powers, including shapeshifting, super strength and durability, telekinesis, and telepathy. She's also skilled at hand-to-hand combat from her training with Black Canary, but but tends to use her powers rather than resorting to physical combat. She's a really interesting character to watch, and you get to see her learn to fit in amongst the humans. She's one of the characters that shows the most development, coming to find her place on the team as the years go on. Number 3. Beast Boy. Garfield Logan grew up in an animal sanctuary, and after receiving a blood transfusion from Miss Martian, he turned green and gained the ability to change into animals. I fell in love with Beast Boy when I was watching Teen Titans as a kid. Having always been a huge fan of Animorphs, I just love the idea of shapeshifting into animals. He's a great character. He's found a happy medium between being a happy-go-lucky kid and not being too annoying, but most of the time. His powers are just so neat and versatile. He's an invaluable and entertaining member of Young Justice. Number 2. Aqualad. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't include Aquaman, since he's, the leader of the team. While Aquaman has historically been something of a joke for whatever reason, recently he's seen a huge rise in popularity due in part to Jason Momoa's casting, but also because of how awesome Aqualad has proven to be. Aqualad has a number of water-related powers that come from both his Atlantean ancestry and his time training in the mystical arts with Queen Mara. His magical training allows him to generate electricity from his eel tattoos and manipulate water as a weapon. And his Atlantean background allows him to breathe underwater, live at low temperatures, and have increased strength and durability. Unlike many members of the team, Aqualad is very calm and cool and soft-spoken, acting as a voice of reason in difficult situations. While his powers are strong, it's his cool demeanor and ability to think clearly at times of stress that make him a great leader of the team, and a really cool character. Number 1. Nightwing. While I know a lot of this list may cause some disagreement with you guys, I think most of us can agree that Nightwing is just plain awesome. Although Dick Grayson was a good Robin, he really comes into his own as Nightwing. Having founded the team and sometimes taking a leadership role when Aqualad is unavailable, Nightwing is an invaluable part of the Young Justice squad. As one of the few members with no true superpowers, he has a lot to prove, but he uses the tools at his disposal to great effect. Plus, Nightwing is quite the player. That's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you want to see more nerdy videos, like and subscribe down below. Are you angry that Impulse didn't make the list? If it helps, so am I. It was hard to cut him off. And make sure to let me know who your favorite Young Justice character is, and tell me if there are any members you'd like to see in future videos. And tell me if there are any members you'd like to see spotlighted in the comments below. If enough people ask, I can actually do a whole video on a character. Until next time, I'm Rob Mackenzie LaFurgey with Top 10 Nerd. Later, nerds.